South Florida's congressional primary did have one clear winner election night, and that was the winner of the Republican side primary. Jason Mariner won with 58% of Republican voters, but his win also comes with some questions, which he is right here to answer. Jason, it's great to have you with us. Welcome aboard.
Thank you for having me, Glenna. How are you today?
I'm doing great, always. So you are an ad exec from Palm Beach Gardens. You are now a Republican candidate for Congress. You got into the race pretty late. Race
Yes,
in the bluest district in the state of Florida. Why did you do this, and what do you hope to achieve?
Well, blue is what they say. It's been quite different from what I've found in talking to people in District 20. Being on the streets, this is a grassroots campaign, and you're right, I did enter the race very late. I heard a lot of, you can't do this, this is too hard, don't try, it's impossible, people won't vote for you. And I said, well, we're gonna find out about that. And yes, I did enter, it was the spur of the moment thing. And, I've looked around the area for 15, 20 years and asked myself, why do we keep hiring people to represent us that have really little to no clue as to what the people in the district actually need?
Let me just stop you right there for a second, because
Sure.
that's an interesting take, because we certainly have met voters that do what you say they are doing. District 20 is a really, I'm going to use the word diverse, and I think people think ethnically when you use the word diverse, but also, it's really urban in some places. It's really rural and agricultural in other places. It spans from the edge of the Everglades to the edge of the ocean. And when you're walking around and talking to people and meeting voters, you're doing so in a really tribal time in our country. So even people who don't know the issues or don't really know how they feel about the issues do know that they are red or blue. And so how do you overcome that?
Well, look, one of the things that was told to me early on is that because of the color of my skin, it was going to be impossible for me to get across to a specific demographic. And I said, that's ridiculous. That's not America. And I quite simply, yesterday was a perfect example. I was out in Belgrade at a diner, and I was talking to people, just talking to them as a normal person. And, like we mentioned earlier, I was an advertising executive. I had gotten into trouble a long time ago. I turned my life around. I've been through a lot of the issues that plague the communities. And again, that led me to the question, why do we keep hiring people that are really out of touch with the things that we go through? I don't have $1 million bank account. I've worked a job all my life. I've been in trouble. I've experienced some of these ups and downs. I have kids of my own, and I can't promise everyone the world, from a congressional standpoint, and that's not reasonable. And that's kind of what I always see happening is you get promised some very, very, very shiny package that you're going to get. And, you give them your vote, you give them your money and support, and then you never hear from them again.
I want to talk, maybe people who have not read much about you, sure. I want to delve into a little bit about what you kind of touched on, in that you have been very public with your personal struggles, and
Yes.
You did spend time in prison. You are a convicted felon. Thanks to Amendment 4, you do get your voting rights back because you've paid your dues. There was some question that you didn't take the steps you needed to qualify to be a candidate for office. Has that been ironed out? Are you qualified to do this?
Look, the Constitution clearly outlines that there's a response that was drafted up by my attorney. It's on the website, mariner4congress.com, and you spell out for FOR. So it's mariner4congress.com. You can read all about it. And the Constitution really outlines 3 qualifying factors to run for federal office. You're 25 years old. You live in the state in which you seek election, and you've been a resident of the United States for a minimum of 7 years. Okay, that's it. And it goes on to even say, and there was an essay done and it was published in the Library of Congress, that there's no requirement that you not be in prison. The point I'm trying to make is this is not about me. When these false attacks come in, this story was written months before I won the primary. It was rather timefully dropped. And I was called and questioned about it, and I already knew the answer because I'm very familiar with the
All right, so
Constitution.
you're chalking this up to a hit piece, and so we can
It
move
is,
on with that.
it is,
So I want
absolutely.
to talk to the people of District 20. I mean, it's a district, but as a member of Congress, you represent, you vote, you have an effect on the whole nation. So on the spectrum, as a Republican, on this, you're not going to be ultra progressive, obviously, but from on the spectrum from the very far left to ultra conservative, in this very blue district, where do you self-describe you are on that spectrum?
I'm a regular person. I'm not a career politician.
You're not taking sides here?
No, I am taking sides, and I'm taking the side of the Constitution. I'm taking the conservative side. I'm taking the side of, look, you're gonna be the only person in your life that's going to box yourself in. Okay, you can think that you don't have a political science degree, therefore you can't run for Congress. You can take a look at me, for example, and say, well, that guy did time and he barely graduated high school, yet here he is. And, the key to this thing is you find a higher purpose, you find God, you help other people, and you can do anything. All you have to do is try.
Amen to that. We are totally with you on that account. No dispute there. I'm just trying to get to a little bit of your thoughts and your beliefs and your policy. So let me ask you this way. Would you have voted on the infrastructure bill? President Biden's going to sign it tomorrow.
No.
Why not?
Absolutely not. No.
Why not? Money for roads, bridges, infrastructure in Palm Beach and Broward. Why not?
That money needs to be spent at home before we go and give it out to the rest of the world and steal from our children and their children. That's what this bill is going to do. I want to see District 20 with properly done sidewalks and curbs and drainage. You take cities like Belgrade or Pahokee. They don't have sidewalks. They don't have street signs in certain
Wouldn't
areas.
the infrastructure money, those projects would absolutely be eligible for infrastructure money?
No, because if you actually read the bill, very little of that infrastructure bill goes to home. Most of it's allocated for the rest of the world and ridiculous projects. And, what I see over and over again are okay, we're going to do this, but it never happens. I want there to be sidewalks. I want there to be curbs. I want District 20 to look nice again. I want parents to be able to send their children to, we have this thing called public schools. To me, this is a no-brainer, but if you have public schools, you should be able to send your children to the school that they need or that you choose to send them to.
Parents' choice is always going to be a big issue.
Absolutely.
I just want to, TV time for anybody joining us is always pretty short. So I apologize for that. And I invite you, the general election is January 11th. And we wish you all the best as we do your opponent. And if you become a member of Congress, I need you to confirm that you will be here with us often.
I will be here with you often, and I will be here for the people always. And I will continue to fight for their jobs, their children, and to bring faith right into the center of the community and amplify that, because that's what we need to survive. That's what this country's built on, is faith.
Jason Mariner,
we're going to have more of that.
Great to have you with us today. Appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
All right, take care.